Thank you, Mr. Chair. I may need some help. I may need to phone a friend on this. Commissioner Ross is sitting right behind me. She can provide more information. But basically, our Department of Veterans Service has a Veterans Service Board, which is comprised of all veterans. And they make decisions, recommendations to the Department of Veterans Services. There's also a Veterans Service Foundation, and what their purpose is to raise money for veteran causes. And the sort of law in that is out of date, and we needed to update that. What this does is it expands the number of members of that foundation to a range between 7 and 13, and it says that about half of those people have to be veterans, but it also allows other people who are supportive of veteran causes to participate in the foundation board so that we can raise more money for veteran causes. And the terms are 3 years, they're staggered, and the board, the foundation board has only been meeting once a year, and this changes that so that they'll meet quarterly, because really I can't imagine having a whole lot of success raising money if you're only meeting once a year. And so the Commissioner of Veterans Service makes appointments to this. She can't appoint herself. We added that language to the bill. And the types of things that they might fund, I would like to ask Commissioner Ross, if she doesn't mind, to give some examples of things that might come into play. And sure, she can have my chair.
Okay, some of the things we are looking to fund is we really want to make a dent in veteran homelessness, whether that is helping organizations that are already in this space through our platform, our referral platform, to be able to house more veterans in a transitional state while we work to get them stabilized housing, as well as making sure that veterans don't become homeless. So we get requests all the time for folks that need rental assistance, utility assistance, et cetera. We're not able to help in that regard. We're one of the few states who have a position like mine where we don't have a foundation that can help with these sorts of emergent and crisis needs. In addition, I know that our Veteran Service Board, who is our governing board, would also potentially like to use this foundation to raise the money because per the study that Senator Kirkpatrick kind of commissioned with her subcommittee, along with Senator Harbison, we know we need an additional skilled nursing home. And they would like for a portion of that to potentially be a public-private partnership as opposed to asking the state to front the 35% for that home. They would like to get some private donors. So we're talking about kind of holistically the needs of veterans, being able to do that through our foundation. Just as an aside, our foundation was created back in 2019. We just got their board reports. They've netted about $500 during that time. And have not, of course, expended any money. So we're hoping that this will make us a more viable foundation and we'll be able to do some great things for the veterans of our state who may be in need.
Questions?
Yes, we're a 501c3.
Any questions? So this would enable somebody like the good senator there that never did any active service.
Before now.
Yes. Okay. That's, yes.
Okay.
Senator, what number are you for? Try that.
My little light just came on, so I guess that's the right one. Is the reason on line 24, we're stricken 7 years and added 3 years, is that because we're adding members so there's not as much overlap?
No, sir. We actually went to the AG's office and got some guidance from somebody that has worked with nonprofits before. Since we're asking these folks primarily to fundraise, because we do have a governing board, doing that for 7 years can be exhausting. And they said the norm is typically about 3 years, because you can get them behind a project or one of their priorities to raise the money. And then it does give them the ability to be appointed for a second term. But that's the reason, is to make, again, this a more viable board, have them serve shorter terms so they can actually get something done in the short term without burning them out.
Okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello. This question may have already been asked, but how many members are on the board?
So right now, the legislation has 7 members on the board. Again, in conferring with the attorney from the AG's office that dealt with nonprofits, she suggested a range. So we can go up to 13 members, which is what we're proposing. And that way, if a member drops out, we don't have to appoint them immediately. We still have, again, a viable board with the appropriate number of members, while we look for additional members to go up to 13 total. So it's between 7 and 13 is what we'd like the legislation to read.
Another follow-up question, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. The current terms?
The current terms are 7 years, and we
Ooh.
would like for those to be reduced to 3 years for what I just said.
Okay.
They're raising money. It's too hard to do that over 7 years.
Okay. Thank you.
And they're meeting a lot more frequently, too.
Yes.
Well, and not only that, we don't want people to just have this to list on their resume.
Resume, yeah.
We want people actually working to raise money for veteran causes. And
Yes, ma'am.
making those terms shorter means you can bring in new blood on a regular basis.
Okay, we have another, one more. There you go. Stop. There.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I remember hearing or being in committee conversation around the board. When was it established again?
This was established back
Foundation.
in the Foundation Board 2019.
Okay, I remember. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Senator McCorn.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Generally amenable to everything you're saying, but I guess one awkward question would be, just because the structure of this was that the Commissioner of Veteran Service cannot be appointed to the board, was there any legislative purpose that you're aware of when that was first written to basically insulate the board from the commission? That would be my only question, because, you know, obviously what the bill does is put you directly on top of who's running the foundation. And so I'm wondering if there's, just if it's a different approach in terms of the way that the foundation was designed. That's my only question.
I think it's just a different approach. Again, both the Foundation Board as well as the department still reports to our governing board, the Veteran Service Board. So, I mean, they are still over the foundation.
It was felt that it could be a conflict.
Okay, thank you. And it's just good to ask. I mean, I guess I should know this. Who appoints you?
I'm appointed by the Veteran Service Board.
By the Veteran Service Board. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
not directly by the governor.
No, not directly by the governor, by the Veteran Service Board.
Okay. Well, no, that's good to know. So that, I mean, if the Veteran Service Board is sort of over top anyway, I think that basically resolves that question. So thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
You have a question? Okay. Any other questions? What's the will of the committee? Have a motion to pass and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Bill passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So before we close up, Senator Islam has a bill that I think is with her today, that I think is a very well thought out bill and very effective for veterans. So if y'all would, huh? So finish my statement here. I would love for y'all to have the opportunity to look at it, and if so desire, please sign on to it so we can get it before the committee at the next hearing, the next meeting. Anything else? All right. Meeting's adjourned.